Did you know, in ancient Greece, homosexuality was seen as a higher form of love than heterosexuality? In fact, Plato, who brought innovative ideas of philosophy to our culture, was gay, and it was seen as normal. Later on, according to Edward Gibbon, in the first 15 Roman emperors, only one did not engage in homosexual acts. With the rise of religion and the adoption of Christianity by the Roman Church, homosexuality became seen as sinful. This belief spread throughout Europe and later the world. In China, under the Tang dynasty from 618 to 907 AD, homosexuality was seen negatively and people began refraining from homosexual acts. Fast forward to recent events. In the 1950s and 1960s, different support groups began to arise, providing a network for homosexuals, and became endorsed by psychologists. In 1951, Donald Webster Corey published The Homosexual in America, asserting that gay men and lesbians were a legitimate minority group. And in 1953, Dr. Evelyn Hooker wrote a paper demonstrating that gay men were as well adjusted as heterosexual men, if not more so. The first diagnostic and statistical manual of mental disorders listed homosexuality as a mental illness, but with further research in the 7th edition of the DSM in 1974, homosexuality was removed from the DSM and regarded as a sexual orientation. Through the 1980s, the gay male community was decimated by the AIDS epidemic, and later, the uncomfortable compromise "don't ask, don't tell" was introduced into the American military service. Massachusetts became the first state to perform same-sex marriages in 2003. With the end of state sodomy laws, gay Americans were finally free from criminal classification. As of January 1, 2015, 17 countries allow same-sex couples to marry. But what about the other countries? Some other countries allow for registered partnerships or civil partnerships. However, there is an extreme end of things. In addition to banishment, whipping, and imprisonment, Saudi Arabia, Sudan, and Iran all have the death penalty if found to be a homosexual. These extreme cases impose fear into citizens. On a global scale, bullying due to homosexuality is very prevalent. 9 out of 10 LGBT teens have reported being bullied at school within the past year due to their sexual orientation. 52 to 87% have been verbally harassed based on their sexual orientation, and up to 24% have been physically assaulted. 32% did not go to school for at least one day because of feeling unsafe. And gay and lesbian teens are 2 to 3 times more likely to commit suicide. So why is hatred still prevalent towards homosexuals? Potentially due to myths from the past that have now been proven false by research. Myth number 1. Same-sex parents will harm children. Research has found that children with same-sex parents do not differ from children with heterosexual parents in their emotional development or in their relationships with peers. The American Psychological Association stated that beliefs that lesbian and gay adults are not fit parents has no empirical foundation. In some cases, it is found children in same-sex households may actually be better adjusted than in heterosexual homes. Myth number 2. Gay people are more prone to be mentally ill and abuse drugs and alcohol. Professional mental health organizations agree that homosexuality is not a mental disorder and that being gay is just as healthy as being straight. In 1975, the association issued a statement saying homosexuality per se implies no impairment in judgment, reliability, or general social and vocational capabilities. Myth number 3. Homosexuality is a choice. The American Psychological Association concludes that most people experience little or no sense of choice about their sexual orientation. In 1994, the APA noted that homosexuality is not a matter of individual choice, and research suggests that the homosexual orientation is in place very early on in the life cycle, possibly even before birth. Why does the discrimination of homosexuality differ so much throughout the world? Misconception of facts. It is important to educate the public and be able to debunk the myths associated with homosexuality. There is still more work to be done, but resources are available. For more information about the psychological basis of homosexuality, look at the reference box below or go to www.apa.org.